feels good. Come on now. Have a seat down on the big brown couch. Come on in. We in the green room. Have a seat down on the big brown couch. It feels good. We in the green room. Have a seat. Those wax on the big brown couch.
What up, everybody?
What's going on?
Welcome back to episode 11 of Backstage with Lost Wax on the Big Brown Couch. We are so excited to have our guest this week. It is the one and only Tasha Bracken of Bracken Events from Boston, Massachusetts.
Let's go, Tasha. Come on.
Welcome to the show. Let me tell you guys, her events are modern, they're luxury, they're great, and she has been seen in the Wall Street Journal, NBC, Modern Luxury Weddings, and the New York Times. What? We are so
Boston
excited.
Globe,
The
all
Boston
the
Globe,
things.
all the things. And we have her here backstage on the couch with us. We're going to talk all things weddings, all things luxury, and see what's cracking on the East Coast, y'all.
Let's
so
go.
welcome, Tasha.
Thank you for having me. Should I say park your car and Harvard Yard?
Yes.
Park your car in the Harvard
can't
Yard.
even-
Perfect
even
way to
say
set
it.
the
Park
tone.
your car
can't
in the
even
Harvard
say it.
Yard and welcome to Backstage
I
with
don't have
Lost
the
Wax.
accent.
Yes.
There you
I
go.
love it.
Yes. Well, yes, Tasha, thank you so much for being here.
Yes, I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Welcome
first
to
and
Kansas
foremost.
City. First time?
Yes, first
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
I drove
Yeah.
around a little bit, showed her around
Did you?
downtown.
Nice. Were
Yeah.
you surprised? What was your initial
I think as surprised it's as big as it is. To be honest. Yeah.
Yeah.
city?
You know?
City.
It is a little big town.
It is a
but
little big
it's
town.
our little big town, and we certainly do love it. So first off, I mean, we always like to start with you just kind of giving us your background, where you came from. You don't have to go all the way back to childhood, but like where you grew up, what area you grew up in, and just tell us a little background about where you came from.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start with kind of how I got into events. So
Yeah.
I worked for a PR firm right out of college, and we did a lot of events. I did a lot of writing. But what I really loved, I found, were the events. We had clients that would do like product launches. And so we would host events for those. And I would coordinate them. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. This is fun. And, you know, we'd have music or, you know, like presentations and pick, you know, colors that were part of their brand and putting that all together. And so I just, you know, really fell in love with that aspect of it and wanted to pursue that. And so it's like, and, you know, and it was at the time where a lot of my friends were getting married and just kind of seeing that whole kind of vibe and, you know, part of your
Planning
life.
process.
And it's like, yeah, this is really, you know, this is cool. So I just kind of dived into it, didn't know that much about it, but I did have the background of putting some events together. It just started and just kind of grew from there. And I knew all along that I didn't want to do just weddings.
Yeah.
So, you know, we do social events, bar mitzvahs, nonprofits. So it's really, I love the mix.
yeah.
Putting that
The
all
mix is
together.
fun. From a band perspective, the mix is fun too.
Yeah, oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
I'm sure it gives you a little bit
A little bit of
different,
variety.
you know, creativity, right?
So was it more corporate event stuff when you started, or did you just dive kind of head first into the wedding world?
No, it was definitely weddings.
Okay.
Weddings, some social events, and then probably when I was about 10 years into the business, I wanted to get into nonprofits because, you know, the one thing about weddings is it's, you know, it's kind of not repeat business, right? Like, you know,
You would hope.
Hopefully.
You would hope.
but there are the referrals.
Yes,
but, you know,
absolutely.
you just, so it was like, I wanted that kind of base of like, you know, year to year
Right.
working. And so a lot of my nonprofits I've been working with for like 15, you know, 10 to 15
That's great.
years.
Yeah.
And they're all ones that I really can like get behind in terms of their mission and what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's either related with, you know, children in foster care or like, you know, some type of medical. And then I work with an organization, Impact Melanoma, and I had a melanoma, so like it's very close to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the first year I did it was pro bono, and they were like, "We need to hire you. Like we're, you know." And so
Oh.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't know. I mean, when did that all come about for you with the melanoma stuff for you? Was that?
Yeah, actually, it was. So my husband always likes to joke that he saved my life because it was it was like 8 months before we were getting married, and I'd had a mole on my face for years. And I was like, oh, I want to get it removed before I get married, like just being vain,
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of. And it came back
Wow.
stage 2, and so it was like,
Oh, goodness.
okay, yeah.
Well, glad you guys caught it early.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you're still
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
with us.
Yep, I know. Knock on wood,
Yeah.
But
Well, you know,
yeah.
it's always stuff like that leads you into taking on an event like that with a nonprofit that, you know, you get to pour your heart into something that you really care about. That you're
yeah,
passionate
giving
about.
back to something, you
Absolutely.
know. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we do a lot of nonprofits. In fact, in the car, we were talking when I picked you up from the airport about some of the, like, you know, the American Heart Association, the Heart Ball that we did. And she had mentioned that there's some Heart Ball events down in Boston that you did. And
Yeah, for a few years we did.
Yep.
That's a big event in Boston too,
Yeah.
like the Heart Ball.
that's a huge
We
one.
have a
for
huge
us.
one here.
Yeah.
Ebony
Yeah.
has been a part of quite a few of them
I've
with
been-
many of our iterations.
Yeah, I've been 13 years now with Lost Wax and Jukebox, and I think I've done about 8 heart balls in some iteration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was Lost Wax for a few years. Then we had the Collective, which I
Collective.
kind of
that was a
told you
lot we
bit
did
about.
last year. Was the Collective?
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, so it started there, and then
Yeah.
weddings. Like, did you start on your own, full service planner, half service, day of? or
Yeah,
was it-
and that's definitely something that I feel like my business has obviously evolved over the years. You know, at the beginning, it was, you know, I would say mostly kind of event management, you know, learning and, you know, kind of how to execute and provide that service to the client. And then we grew, and I brought in 2 full-time employees, and that was the business for many years. And then as the business has evolved and the industry has evolved, you know, I started to really want to focus on that full service, you know, because I felt like in so many ways that we were servicing clients exactly the same, even though some of them weren't necessarily paying for it, you know? So
Gotcha.
it was like
Yeah.
trying to find a way to streamline it so that it made it easier to give clients what they were paying for,
Right.
and not have me feel like I'm just giving it away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
So
You uncover like what truly matters to a client that you're working with when designing like event for them. Like when you're
Like,
dealing
what's
with,
your approach? What's your
what's your approach? Let's start with wedding clients in general.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
What is something like what's your approach to that? And,
So from the beginning, you know, I think it's asking them questions like, you know, even on like the discovery call, like, how do you want your wedding to feel? How do you want to feel at your wedding? And so much is also based on guest experience. So it's like, how do you want your wedding to feel to your guests? You know, I think that may seem like a pretty simple question, but when you really think about it, you know, people have different opinions and different ideas on, you know, oh, I want a, you know, huge dance party and just, you know, rave on, you know, or others, it's like, no, I want there to be like experiences, and you know, I want maybe even before the ceremony to have there be an experience, whether maybe it's with music and, you know, cocktails before even the ceremony starts, or you know, something like that, and it follows through the entire
something unique for
weekend
each-
almost, because that's the thing too, like now things are not just one day.
One day,
It's-
right.
It's a whole weekend.
So you got the day before, you got the brunch, and then you got the
Yeah.
And
You
the
have
cocktail
you have
before the
rehearsal dinner
cocktail, and-
beforehand. Well, and that's actually a good point, because like we've experienced, in fact, we were just like I was telling you, we were in Seattle this past weekend, and it was an entire the rehearsal dinner was its own party in itself, and that was a whole setting that led into the reception Saturday night, and it was just 2 totally different vibes that kind of came together. And now, and like you said, it's not just one day; it is a whole
Yeah.
entire weekend. It's a, you know, it's a whole vision where it used to just be like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to show up at this wedding and throw a party.
Well, what I'm learning is through all of these podcasts and through the work that we've been doing as band leaders. Not only do we hold roles as like lead singers and vocalists, but we do some behind the scenes and we work as band leaders, sort of like a day of planner for the band and in the liaison with the planner.
Yep.
So we're interfacing with the client a lot too, especially when we're talking music. What I'm learning, this rehearsal space, it's usually put on by the groom's family, and it's usually an opportunity for like some bigger toasts to get out of the way and some sort of like,
Yes.
butterflies to get rubbed off and
Yeah.
sort of the nervousness of what's happening in the weekend.
Yeah.
But it's changing what's happening then on wedding day where, there's maybe not a best man and a maid of honor and a groom, all these extra toasts that would normally
Thank
happen.
God
And
for
like,
that, by the way.
or there's not a huge grand entrance and there's not a huge bridal party.
Yeah.
And, have you noticed sort of changes over with that in reference to that?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I think one of the big things is, it's the rehearsal dinner and then the welcome party. So it's like, and I think a lot of people are doing that for a couple of reasons. One is they're spending a lot of money on the wedding and it's like just for one day,
Right.
just like see these people. So let's create something where, we're providing opportunities for our guests and our family and friends who, let's face it, a lot of these times, like these people are never always together.
Yeah.
And they don't live here and,
And
they've
that's-
flown in and
Yeah.
they've taken off
Yeah.
work and like,
And
Like
that's what's really
maximize the
special.
party space.
Yeah.
And to Ebony's point, we have a few planners that we work with that do all of the speeches at rehearsal dinner. And that eliminates easily 20 minutes of very precious time
Yes.
at your wedding to not have to, like, you want to get to the party, and even if that 20 minutes, you free that up for some other accent moment from a band or something to create something for someone
Yeah.
else. And I'm a big fan of that personally because it just does. You see, and you get people when they start giving speeches at weddings, they get nervous and they just talk.
Yeah.
And it puts us into a space where it's like, do we play this person on? Do we play them off? Do we?
I have a question. What's trending kind of, we've seen some things,
East Coast weddings.
well,
East
I was
Coast.
going to say
Yeah.
like, we have been doing this idea of what we think the East Coast style is, but I'm curious as to like, we know what we do here, in the sort of Midwest, Northern, Southern sort of region, but like, I'm curious to know, is there anything that's kind of fun and interesting that's trending with couples over, on the East Coast
What
that
they're
you can
doing.
think of?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as you were kind of alluding to, I think there is less focus on the formalities per se, and like just creating a really great night of food and dancing and all of that. That said, I think the East Coast is still pretty traditional.
Okay.
In terms of, and my clients in particular tend to
Okay.
be more traditional. So, there still are typically the toast, the welcome, there's, the maid of honor, the best man, definitely, kind of skipping the cake cutting,
Yeah.
things like that. So trying to like those little things, just kind of, but I like
Bridal,
the idea of,
bouquet toss, garter toss. Are those things gone, or you
yeah.
still have?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier. We just did a wedding where we had a bouquet toss. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that
If you got enough single friends, throw the bouquet.
Yeah,
And
I
if you
mean,
got
yeah.
nobody to bring out on the dance floor,
I know.
skip it.
well, that's the thing. When anyone's ever like a client has asked, I said, "Do you have single friends that are gonna?" Because
Yes.
it can be really
Do you
awkward.
have 10 or more?
Right.
Do you have 10 or more
Yeah.
to get a group out
Well,
there?
then you got
Otherwise-
that meme of the girl who, I don't know if you've seen it. It's this video of a girl who was just like literally fighting another girl,
Yeah.
not fighting it, but just this grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, trying to get this bouquet, and the girl's like, "Get off!"
Yeah.
Like,
There's somebody form tackling another bridesmaids to get it.
But I think if you look at like weddings 10 to 15 years ago, like there are fewer formalities. Like there used to be so much stuff I think that happened, and now it is more of a party and more of an experience for guests. Like, we're seeing a lot more like interactive things for guests, like live paintings
Yep.
are huge now. Like it's a fun thing for guests to walk away with. You know, they, instead of like a guest book or, you know, something like that, which
Is it like that?
Like
They
just
take a selfie or something, like a photographer takes a quick little
no.
snapshot.
So you have someone that's actually, you know, so that if you're a guest, you would go up and there's actually someone that's like painting you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like, I mean, obviously, like, I don't want to say cartoon
Right.
style,
No,
but
not like a caricature
very
thing.
quick.
but like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they get sent to the guest.
That's cool.
Well,
And
you
it's
know,
just-
and it's a great point you bring up, because in the last, like you were saying, 15 years ago, the landscape has shifted. In my opinion, everything is so social media based now.
Yes.
And everything is so visually aesthetic, more so than ever, because you've got 200 to 300 guests at any big wedding that are now just Instagramming and filming everything.
Yep.
So I think the focus has shifted from the party's still the party, but there's the other things that you can add in that are like, what are people going to film? What are people going to catch reels of that are going to catch content for things, which I don't mind, because that's the world we live in now. And there's, you know, it's either you adapt or you die for us kind of thing. But
content creators, like they're huge now.
Yeah.
yes. And now
I mean, even planners, like we're hiring content
that's
creators.
what I was just going to mention, like, because
Yeah.
now there's a whole line of work now for content creators
Yep.
to come in, which is great, because you have, like we've done a few with some of our planners that have their own videography team that are just there to capture the videography content. And then there's a separate person just there for social media content.
Yeah.
And which that's the world we live in now.
So
And
this
I'm not-
is a question that I've loved and been asking, and I'd love to get your answer and input on it. Like the word luxury, and sort of like, first of all,
Yeah.
like, how do you feel about that word in relation to like weddings and events? And then I guess it's kind of a 3-part. So how do you feel about the word? And how do you feel what is luxury today, and how has it changed? Do you think?
Yeah. I typically don't use the word luxury. Like I like to use refined,
Oh.
relaxed.
Okay.
You know,
I like that.
I think, you know, elevated, refined, you know, just kind of, because my aesthetic, you know, and part of this goes back to like talking about like Instagram and like the design portion of it. Like, because as a planner, like we really are dealing with kind of two sides. There's the design, and then there's the logistics. And, you know, our the kind of uniqueness, I feel like, is when we partner with a client, we are, you know, working with them on the design, obviously. And that's the fun piece. And that's the part that most clients love to work with.
Right.
And so we want to make sure we're partnering with the right people to bring it to life for them and make it, you know, truly theirs.
Yes.
Truly, you know. But then there's the other side of all the things that go into a wedding that have to happen that are kind of mundane and that they don't really want to do. Like,
or that people don't see that has to
Yeah.
happen. You know, the behind. Yeah.
like
for
floor
sure.
plans, putting a timeline
Seating
together.
charts.
yes.
Yeah. Alpha list. Like
Yeah.
every event we do, we have an alphabetical list of the guests and what table they're at, because almost every wedding, someone doesn't go and get their
Seating.
escort card.
Exactly.
Or know where they're
Oh my
seated.
god! As a band leader, you know how many times I've just had to herd the cats around. Be like, find your
Yeah.
tables, find your seats, look at the list. There's a huge 12 by 12 board out there with your name on it. Go find
Yeah.
it.
RSVPs. We do a lot of RSVP management for clients
Ooh.
because they don't want to have to worry about, like, you know, keeping track of who RSVP'd, their dietary restrictions. Like,
Yeah.
So, do you have a separate part of your team that deals with that, with the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
RSVP
Yeah.
management? Okay.
yeah. And that's all the, like, the back end logistic stuff that,
Yeah.
like, especially when you're dealing with clients, you know, we'll say luxury, they're more interested in how everything looks
right.
and what their guests are going to feel like and experience.
Right.
Rather than opposed to, oh, I have to put a guest list together, or I have to, you know, it's like,
That's interesting, because your answer to that question, we've asked all of our planners that have been on the podcast the same question. And a lot of them have the slightly different answers, but it's kind of like what luxury is to you. And a lot of it is guest experience, that kind of thing. But you're the first one that said that it's the back of house stuff that is that is what creates the ease of that experience, that's
Yeah.
a great take on that.
Well, I think in doing that, you know, and I'm not saying we're very involved with the design, like that's, you know, but it's a whole other, I look at it as a whole other piece.
Right.
But it's like, we're taking care of all that stuff that like, they just really,
That gives peace of mind. It's
and it's overwhelming honestly, for a lot of people, you know, spreadsheets and,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
floor
I think,
plans.
I mean, when you think about somebody that's full service, you want that. You want to be able to say, you know, can you help me with my guest list, and can you help me with my floor plan? You know, as a especially if you're the client and that's not your wheelhouse and it's not something, you know what I mean, and you're just like, I'm gonna hire you. You're the expert, like, you know, absolutely.
I mean, and honestly, a lot of times what I get from a client is that I'm like, I would just rather do it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd just rather take it on your own and run with it. Well, you know, that kind of leads into the next question is like, so, you know, how do you like put a client's mind at ease that, you know, everything is going to be as planned? You guys have drawn it all out. And what is your approach to, here's the plan, here's what I'm going to do, approaching the day of, like, how do you put their mind at ease to make sure that everything's going to be as they have planned it out?
I mean, I think that's a tough question. And I think the easy answer is to say, you know, it's all planned. You don't have to worry. But the truth is that something could happen, and probably something will happen that you hopefully aren't going to know about, because we can just fix it.
Yeah.
But I think it's really, you know, being somewhat transparent with them and saying, like, listen, we've done everything on the back end.
Yeah.
Like,
But what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah. You know, like everything, you know, our T's are crossed, like it's there. Our timeline is, you know,
Are you clipboard or iPad?
what?
Are you clipboard or iPad?
iPad.
Oh.
I was clipboard, but definitely. And I always have a hard copy of
Yeah.
the timeline.
Yep.
But
Yes.
yeah, it's just my team all has clipboards. Like
Yes.
I think it looks nicer, cleaner, and it's just, you know, and I'm all for safety.
Well, there is
paper
something
and
to be
trees.
said about that, because there are times when I'm scrolling through my Word doc of stuff, I'm like, hold on, let me find it. But if you've got a hard copy there, it's like, nope, this is what's in ink.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing. Yeah.
I know sometimes, the scroll, I'm like, did I find
Well,
like
it's, you know, it's just, it's crazy to think like how much goes into these, and then you get to day of, and even us as a band, like we will spend 2 months scripting out every little detail, but always in the back of my mind as a band leader, I'm like, there is something that is going to go awry, but just be prepared for the worst. And not really the worst, but just be prepared to pivot.
Yeah.
Is kind of, I think, a big part of our industry and what we do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've found, and I think this is something too that's kind of trending, is that, you know, there's so much pretty on Instagram, and, you know, and I think clients are actually craving, like, no, tell me what it's real, like, you know.
Yes.
And I think by being honest and saying, hey, like, we've done everything we can, like, this is our plan A, which we all want. This is plan B. That's a whole other story too, because you need to make sure that people are actually bought into plan B, because it could happen. And many times people are like, oh yeah, plan B. Okay, this is what we're doing. No.
Like,
and then when you you have to do it.
Plan B, because if it rains,
that's a good
we're
point,
outside.
because you do a lot of tented wedding events. That's kind of your specialty. So there's a lot of plan Bs that I feel like have to go into place for that.
Yeah.
And with, I mean, your tented events are very luxurious, and it's not
refined.
It's not a
refined,
it's a refined. My
refined
bad.
and elevated.
But what I'm saying is, it's not a carny tent thrown up on a couple poles. It's a nice tented event. But still, with those, you still have, like, you know, ceremonies happening on the lawn. And that's something I always, me personally as a band leader, that is something that I will take up with the planner, because I never like to have those conversations myself with the client present.
Yeah.
Those are always, there are certain conversations that it's just band leader to planner, client doesn't need to be involved with.
Yes.
And there's just certain words, triggers that you'll say around a bride and groom that you don't want to be had in a conversation.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we'll hang up on that first scripting meeting with me and a planner, and I'm like, nice to meet you, pleasure. And then I'll get on the phone with the planner and be like, okay, they're having this thing outside. It's May in Missouri,
Right.
and they're trying to be on the lawn of the Nelson Atkins Art Museum. Like,
There's this
you
thing
know,
called tornadoes.
and there's yes, so
We're getting those now, and
'Cause weather's crazy.
yeah,
which
you
is
know.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy.
But I mean, for you guys, like, how do you attack a plan B for any outdoor events?
Well, I mean, I think that's I think that's the hard thing. Like, clients have to go in, and we have different layouts. We have and we present them to the client. Like, this is, and then it's like, okay, yep.
You want them to love Plan B as much as they love
Right.
Plan A, essentially.
I mean, but let's face it, no one's gonna.
No one loves Plan
Loves
B.
Plan
No
B.
one
Right.
loves Plan
For
B
the
like
most
they
part,
love Plan
right.
but
A.
you'll be satisfied with it.
But yeah,
But
you want them to.
and I just always feel so bad when we say, okay, we need a tent for ceremony. There's just, and the clients are like, no, I don't want it. I don't. And it's like, well, do you want everyone to get soaking wet? Do
Yeah.
you want, it to blow away during the ceremony? Like,
Yeah.
and that's really hard, but it's like, this is what we agreed upon,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
I,
and you have to factor those things. I mean, for example, my own personal wedding was at my parents' lake in up in North Kansas City at Weatherby Lake, and they had a covered shelter area, but we could only fit 150 guests inside this spot, and we had 200 guests, so we had to spend the whole night before. It was just dumping rain, and my father-in-law, God bless his soul, he rented a tent from All Seasons Event Rental. Shout out to you guys, by the way, All Seasons. He put up a white just off the side of the event space, and sure as shit, they set that thing up. And the minute that thing got set up, rain cleared, blue skies, and he sat under that tent half the night, just drinking and vibing
Like,
on
this
his own.
is my tent.
But it was a last minute decision, and we had to make it because you have to go to Plan B and you have
Yeah.
to be prepared for it. But
Yeah.
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 That leads me to this question. If you had a moment where like a client has asked for something that seemed impossible at first, but you were able to pull it off, can you think of anything?
oh my gosh. I mean, nothing specific, but anything to do, I would say there's probably a few. That's why but I think anything that has to do with like water or like bringing people on boat or something is, to an island or, is challenging.
Yeah.
We've done events on Nantucket, and I mean, you guys would appreciate this. Like, if you're bringing, there's not a lot of musicians on Nantucket. I mean, there are, but but we're bringing mostly our bands over by the boat, and they have to bring all their equipment over, and it's not a like easy feat
Yeah.
to do that. And then if there's a storm that comes in,
You're
the
screwed.
ferry stop.
Yeah.
You're playing from the other side of the island.
Well, we did.
Hi,
So
guys.
that's actually a fun little anecdote here. Lost Wax did an event. When was that? Clay, was that 20? It may have been before. It probably was pre-COVID. We did a wedding in the Bahamas, and we were at Pink Sands Island. So we had to take all of our gear on a ferry 80 miles from there we had another production company, but it was a whole, like, I was just looking at this boat we were on, and I was like, if there's a storm that rolls in, we are screwed. Like, we had a separate production company there on the island doing sound and all that stuff, but we had guitars and amps and all this stuff that we had flown in. And that's like, and it was a 3-hour ferry from that island to another. And it's just like looking at it's like what you're talking about is like that. Those are moments where you're like, if a storm hits, we are
Watch out.
I don't know what Plan B is.
Well,
maybe.
you've done I mean, I remember a story. There was something not too long ago where it downpoured and everything lost power, and so it was a candlelit. What was it? Candlelit and acoustic guitar.
Yes.
And it ended up
And
being
Sean
like one of the
McNown,
most.
by the way, shout out to Sean McNown, one of our great band leaders. He had a battery powered amp speaker in the back of his car, and it was a huge, like, tornado system, thunderstorm that rolled in, shut the power down to the whole venue. And he just brought it in. He had acoustic in the back of his car, and there was 150, 200 guests there waiting.
Yeah.
And he just started playing acoustic, and he was like, "Hey,
Like
we're gonna
Candlelight.
ride this out till we get the till we get the power going." But
Love
it's
it.
like you either freak out or you adapt and you die.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
you
And I
know.
think that's the biggest thing. I mean, I always look, you talk about specific things like clients asked, and, I always approach it like, let's do it. Let's figure out how we can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be things like, no, we can't do it that exact way,
Right.
but
We'll figure it out.
we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's still going to get you what you want to do.
I love that.
And that's that. There's
Yeah.
so much to be said about planning for the worst. I mean, like, yes, like I'm a hopeless optimist where I'm like, yes, we'll do it. But also I've learned over the years that you can be an optimist, but also explain to people that like what can go wrong will go wrong. Let's plan it out, figure it out, and then plan B will be all right.
Yeah.
And get it going. So
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the music? What's your sort of wedding music? And is it DJs? Is it bands? Is it
We primarily work with bands.
Okay.
And for me, I mean, we were talking earlier, like I have a music background. I'm not musical or anything,
Okay.
but like I grew up in radio, like
Okay.
my family, broadcasting. I used to do commercials.
Okay, let me hear your radio voice real quick.
No, I don't have a radio.
But we were talking about this because it was
my dad.
Your
Your
dad.
dad. Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
But there was, this was in New Hampshire,
This is
But,
Tasha Bracken for Bracken Events.
an ice cream company, and I did their ads.
Oh.
I was
You-
like the
you
kid.
said
like,
New
do you
Hampshire,
remember
you've
it?
been in Jerry's? Or that's Vermont.
No, that's Vermont.
My bad.
Ben and Jerry's is Vermont. But I was a DJ at my college for all 4 years.
Nice.
All right.
Yep.
You got a DJ voice.
I had the reggae show.
Jack of all trades.
I
Oh,
love
come
it.
on. Come
Yeah.
on.
Come on, let me hear your handle. I'm putting you on the spot.
I didn't have a handle.
What was your sign on or sign off? Come on.
Oh, God.
I know you remember.
Oh my gosh, you're asking me to like go back. Like, I don't.
This
It's
is
called-
Tasha
I called it
Bracken, Mom.
flashback tracks.
Tasha Bracken.
Yeah.
It was
No, I loved it. I thought I was going to go into radio, to
Yeah.
be honest. Like, I thought I like wanted to be in DJ or in production.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I used to do at the radio station in college, like create commercials. Like we would do like these little spots and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
But then I realized you can't really make any money at it anymore. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's
So live bands is like kind of your preferred
Yes.
through that.
Sorry,
yeah.
we got off
no,
track.
that's fine.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
this circles back to we had touched on it, but the sort of like we get some planners that do this East Coast style, and I was like, is that really a thing where it's like,
She confirmed it
teaser
was.
set, you
confirmed it
kind of
was.
come in and it's like
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell
band
us a
is
little
like
bit about the East
guns
Coast
ablazing
style.
as soon as people come in, and then
Yeah. So yeah, first like we are known like I said, most of our weddings have bands, and part of that is just I feel like the live music is just such energy, and you can't match it
right.
with a DJ. I love DJs, and there's a lot of high energy DJs, but it's also an opportunity for design and to really create something that kind of finishes off the entire look. So like that beautiful backdrop, and working with you guys to make sure all the equipment looks pretty, and
Yes.
Yes. And you have enough space to do what you need to do, and
The suits, the look, the human interaction from the band to the crowd.
Yeah,
That's all part
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
So I mean, I look at like the band backdrop as one of the biggest decor elements.
Oh,
Well, and a lot of
That
times,
and the bars.
a lot of times it is it is your focal point because you
Exactly.
move from dinner on this side, I guess, to boom, dance floor. This is
but
where you're back.
I will say though, that's kind of the first time I've heard that where
Yeah.
the band backdrop is also as important as every other element. Because I mean,
Yeah.
we'll get like your basic pipe and drape, or we'll get like a gobo
Right, and
on the wall, but like, I
And
mean,
you guys are photographed so much,
right,
As the
right.
band, up on stage. It's like, what do you want to see? Like, sorry, ugly equipment, like, or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or just,
You know what's funny that you brought this up, because Abby and I were literally talking today about this, because she randomly will ask me questions because we work at home together. She's like, how many photo albums do you think you are in on people's coffee tables? Like, and we started calculating how many weddings I've done in the 11 years I've been with Lost Wax. And I'm like, I just started doing like the basic math of like, okay, at least 40 to 50 a year, one a week.
yeah,
Or, you know, and I was like doing the math. I was like, it's almost 500 weddings. And it's like, and that is a part of the backdrop that you're sitting in all these photo albums of stuff. And it is a part of like, and everybody, like every photographer or videographer will send us over their whole gallery of stuff. And then they scroll through, okay, ceremony, cocktail, this, and then we get to band stuff. And I'm like, man. And Abby's like, you're probably sitting on so many people's coffee tables that you just don't even really remember somewhere. But I say all that to be like, you are correct in the fact that like the aesthetics of a band, the aesthetics of the look with the production.
From a band, I love to hear that. The way the band looks is, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, you're dealing with like the fashionista of our group here, Miss Ebony Fondren. She's our band stylist too.
Not even that. No, but not even that. But like, no, I would say that's sort of a first that I've heard, you know, where you make a point to make sure that.
well, think about it. It's also, it's about the guest experience. I mean, one of the first things they're seeing when they walk in that space is in most weddings, like letting people in, that's a big reveal. Like they're walking into this gorgeous space that has been, you know, taken months to plan with linens and flowers and candlelight. And one of the biggest things and the first thing they see is what? The
band backdrop. Yep.
Yeah, it's the band. You guys are up there.
I've been in where we're up against a brick wall, but it's like a brick wall, and they maybe flank the front of the stage, or it's like, you know what I mean? But
Facades.
but like, or there's facades, and it's the front half of the stage, but it's never what's behind us.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
And that's what I'm pushing towards. I've always been, even since my day in bar bands, like stage cleanliness has been such a huge thing for me. And now we've moved into the era of like pretty much wireless everything. So I always take a look at like stage setups to where, you know, we always try to take a look back. Like once we've set up and sound checked at an event, we take a look back, we look at everything. Are the facades lined up? Is the floral arrangements on the facades right? Does this look clean kind of thing? Like, and it's those little attention to details that are part of the luxury, quote unquote, luxury experience that you get from a band.
I mean, it's something 10 years ago people didn't even really think about.
Right.
No.
At all. It was a band. Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
But now you got bands out there in LED suits running around and tuxedos. And it's like, and it's kind of, what we've noticed is we're always studying other bands in our markets, other bands, and everybody has their own flavor. And there's some bands that just do the traditional white tuxedo, very clean look. There's bands that do the LED suits and the dancers on stage, and you know, and it's all like what's your brand, but at the end of the day, it comes down to what are you presenting, what does it look like,
what do you like?
Yeah,
what do you like from a band?
It's a good question.
One that is a partner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think there's a lot of bands that feel like, you know, they're kind of egotistical.
Well,
right?
That's a bunch of musicians bunching up. You're gonna get that.
No, but I know. I get what
not
she's
from
saying.
us, but you're gonna get that.
No, I
from
understand what you're saying.
The first question is, okay, when are we eating?
Yeah.
You know, the typical stuff. But no, it really is a partnership. And it's like, okay, let's work together on the timing. Like, you know, we always set up calls with the band like a month before with the client, where we're all looking at the timeline and saying, here's the flow. What do you think?
Do you involve the client in with the band conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's like key. You know, it's like, because, and it's same with the photographer, same with the cinematographer, like, you know, because I want everyone to come together and know, like, I don't want surprises.
Right.
You know,
It's a team effort.
Do you usually pick
it is.
bands, or or is it a little bit of both? Like the client will come with somebody they saw. Or...
It's a little bit of both.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the clients do come and they're like, oh, it's this band I love. And it's like, okay. And I'm fine. Like, if I haven't worked with them, as long as I know they're reputable and they're going to be,
So that's actually a great question you pose, and something I want to ask you is, would you prefer a client comes to you, hires you first, and then you recommend a band, or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Because we've ran into some clients, and in fact, I just talked to, and I'm not going to name the planner, but the planner was like, I had everything drawn out, and the client came to me and had already hired a band, and they brought the band in, and they're like, the band was great, it was fine, but it just kind of messed up my whole direction for everything.
Yeah.
So,
and
you'd
that's
rather
kind of what
go
I meant
you
about
first.
like what do you like? You said a partnership. You like kind of, does it go as far as like getting in with the aesthetic of the feel of the wedding and like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think because we are creating part of design around you, it's important to know like how big of a stage do you need? Like,
Yes.
it's going to be this far off the ground. Like, what does the equipment look like?
Okay, so that is a great point. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no.
there was
Quit cutting her off.
No,
Pat.
I'm not going to. But it leads me to the point of like the story I'm telling about the unknown planner. I'm not going to say is there was a band that they brought in that the client hired the band, and the band's contract involved, this is the stage, this is the setup, this is what we do. And then they came to the planner, and the planner was like, well, they don't know the venue, they don't know this. And so like that was part of, and they worked through it, but it was,
moral of the story is, listeners, watchers, consult with your planner first before signing on the dotted line, because you never know, your band stage might be too big for the venue.
And preferred vendors are a big thing.
Or I think, you need to know, what will work with your venue before you hire a band. Like,
absolutely.
And what's allowed. I mean, there's,
that part, because there's like certain museums, like our museum, Nelson Atkins, they don't allow horns in a certain part of, there's an area that has exhibits with fragile ceramics.
That's even to
and
have
the
like
vibration
certain
of
brass
the horn.
instruments. And
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
wind
Yeah.
instruments,
Yeah.
And we had to learn that the hard way.
Yep.
And it was just, so you never know.
Okay. Trust your planners to hire preferred vendors, please. Yeah.
And that's really the word, trust.
Trust.
With all of our clients, like, we can't be a partner if there's not that trust.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's when things become challenging with clients, is when they don't trust.
Well, and the beauty of being around for a while and having reputable accolades, and I'm sure word of mouth is probably a lot of where your recommendations and word of mouth is where a lot of your clientele comes from, or I saw you in this, or I saw you in that. And, when your reputation can precede you, that's the best thing of building that trust.
And that's why it's so important to, I think just really do what you do and do it well.
Right.
And, there's going to be mistakes.
Yeah.
And again, I think, the clients appreciate when you say that.
Yeah.
Rather than, I think they're yes to death a lot of times. And it's refreshing for them. And it's a change when you're like, oh, okay, like you're being
real, transparent,
and
as
then
you
that
said
builds
earlier.
the trust.
Exactly.
Right?
Dream
I just
destination to plan a wedding.
Oh, okay.
That you have not planned.
That I have not planned.
That you haven't planned anywhere in the world, no budget.
Bahamas or South Carolina, Charleston.
Oh, really? Ooh. And now, what has been one of your favorite places that you've planned?
I have to say Cape Cod. Like, we're there so often. It's just a destiny. It's
some of the best potato chips on the planet, I'll tell you that. All right, most underrated part of a wedding. The most underrated part.
Speeches.
Oh. Why so?
I think because when it comes down to it, it's very special. And I think it's something that, like, the family and the couple, like there's always the big hugs after, and it's like all that emotion that comes out.
I love the speeches. There have been many times where I have been on stage as speeches are happening, and I'm like on the corner like,
look, I have a daughter now that's 5 years old, and if a father or the bride gives one, I'm sitting up there and I'm just like,
oh yeah.
I mean, I know people are like, oh, but it's like that's their moment to
Right.
like express everything. All like the father of the bride, especially.
Yeah.
It's his moment to express his love for his daughter. All the years, everything, and I think it's special.
The one most common line that everyone starts out a speech with, "You might not know me, but I'm so and so, so and so." Like everybody
Yeah.
knows who you are. Why do people?
Everybody knows who you are. We already know who you are.
Yeah.
You may not know this.
I love the
or
ones that
whatever
come
it
up like, "Hey, I'm Katie. I'm the maid of honor, and here we go."
Yep. And there are
All right.
ones that do that, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, you know what's coming. If
Yes,
they
that's a good
present
one.
like that, I'm like, oh shit. Sit back, let's go. All right,
is. That's a
last
good
one.
Yeah.
Last one. One wedding trend you wish would just go away.
God, one wedding trend.
Could be anything. I've got mine in mind, but you give me yours.
That's a good. I know I'm having a hard time with that one. One wedding trend.
Can I give you mine?
Yeah. Okay,
just
you go
to
first.
just to give you something to think about.
Yeah.
The garter toss.
It's
Fellas,
gone.
Oh,
No.
see, that's gone.
fellas,
When?
look.
Okay, Pat.
There's still
when
a
have you done a
couple.
garter toss?
Not in a while, but they
Exactly.
still pop up. Fellas, stop doing the garter toss. Stop it. Ladies still throw the bouquet. Fellas, stop.
I haven't done a garter toss in about
Stop
2 years, and I haven't done a
going
bouquet
up
in
a
about
sweaty
7
dress in
months.
front of your
Maybe that's
grandparents.
a Midwest thing. We don't have the.
Really?
Well,
No, I mean the garter. I like I said, I just did a bouquet toss, but
Yeah.
haven't done a garter toss.
bouquet toss is fine. Garter toss, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Stop. No one wants to go up a sweaty dress in front of their grandparents while they're still there. Go. Red or white chowder?
Red or white chowder?
Wait, New England.
New England.
Okay.
New England clam chowder.
Pack your car and what do you say?
Pack your car and Harvard Yard.
And Harvard Yard.
All right. And finally, for the last one, because we're just going to do one more just for the sake of doing it, we're going to talk Boston, East Coast teams, because obviously Boston is like a legendary sports town. Your favorite Boston sports team, if
Red
you had
Sox.
to pick one. Red Sox? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, park
Then
your
the
car and
Patriots.
Harvard Yard.
Yeah.
No.
Listen.
What were you about to say?
Then the Patriots.
The Patriots.
Number 2.
Well,
Okay.
of course. Well, like I said to
We'll let-
you
we'll let
at
that one-
drinks,
we'll let that one
we're
slide.
very
You're in-
glad that
you're in
Tom
Chiefs
Brady
Kingdom.
is gone and left, and he has now moved Pat Mahomes into his new seat. Listen, folks, this has been Backstage on the
Big brown couch. We have parked our car in the Harvard Yard with Tasha Bracken. No,
Tasha, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
much.
hanging
thank
out
you for
with
having
us.
me.
I'm your
It's
girl,
been
Ebony
great.
Fondren, a.k.a. Jazzy Lady.
And I'm Pat Woolam. I don't have a cool name, but it's great to see y'all. Tasha, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us. This has been an
Yes.
absolute
Woo.
blast.
We're going to
Till
throw
next
it
time.
to the band, y'all.
Come on,
Let's
band.
go.